All right, wherever you are, we thank you for joining us once again, for stopping by to watch this video. This is Neokecci Multi-Concepts, and we know that from the last video, if you have not seen it, you can also always check our channel, and then you'll be able to see it. We talked about developing the Niger Delta, the untold stories, and all about the stories we've been talking about, efforts that are being made that are not in the regular media, that you can get to find out, that you'll be able to know what is going on in developing the Niger Delta. So you are welcome. My name is Charles Onwahiwe. I have my colleagues with me who work with me in Neokecci Multi-Concepts, and I'll be bringing them on as we continue in the program. We have a couple of things we would like to let you know today. And because from the last video, from your responses, some people wanted to know, yeah, developing the Niger Delta, who are the people doing this? And do they have the capacity to do it? And today, so we want to talk about how capacity is being built amongst those who are in charge of this development. And we also want to talk about how this has been able to yield results. So stand by, and remember, you can always go and subscribe to our channel and like our pages so that you'll be the first to know when we drop new videos. So let's get started. And first and foremost, how is capacity being built? Last video, we talked about the GMoU, the Global Memorandum of Understanding, that oil majors like Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited is using to execute projects in their host communities, to develop the communities, to carry out their corporate social responsibility. And so how the community members who manage this process, how are they being developed? And that is through a process we call the OPPG. Yeah, I'm going to allow my colleague Ernest to talk about that. So Ernest Uke is one of us in Neokecci Multi-Concepts. So Ernest, you take it from here. What is OPPG?
Okay, OPPG is an acronym. It stands for Operating Principles and Procedures Guidelines. So what does it really mean? Actually, when these governing structures are put in place, like we said in the previous video, it's the GMoU process runs in such a way that actually the people take full responsibility of how it is run. But the problem that usually comes up is that, do these people have the capacity? Do they have the skill to actually run these development structures? So, and we all know that it's one thing to actually have the desire to say, I want to develop my community. It's another different thing if I have the skill to develop the community. So under the GMoU, what we try to do is to try and bridge the gap between the people who are selected for this running of these governance structures and actually this required skill needed. So identifying this challenge, what we try to do is, where we come in is more like, now, these people need the skill. They need the skill on how to actually run the institutions like the community trust and the cluster development board. So apart from the needed skill, the needed administration skills and all the governance skills, we also have that morality base that we try to build. That is, what do I mean by morality base? We know we're in Nigeria and we have this kind of situation where people see development or projects as a way of enriching themselves. So what to address this kind of problem and this mentality, the OPPG training, capacity building process, try to instill in the people that actually run these institutions, to make sure that, yes, they don't just run those institutions for themselves, but actually for the development of the community. So, summarily, the OPPG training, which is part of the capacity building, it's simply to imbibe the necessary skill in the individuals who run these governance structures, and also provide the moral base for them to operate. So, like as you can see from your screen, you find out that that's one of our OPPG training sessions that have some set of board members being introduced to the GMoU model and how they can actually harness the resources they have for the development of the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ernest, for taking us through that about the training that revolves around the operating procedures and guidelines that we call the OPPG. Now, beyond that, we also have other trying to build capacity amongst the community trust members, the cluster development board members, who are the makeup for these GMoU processes. So I'd like to invite my colleague, to also talk a little bit about that. So Sophia is one of us in Neokecci Multi-Concept. So I want to invite her to talk about the building capacity amongst the other facets, the other arms that run the GMoU. Yes, Sophia, you can take it from here.
All right. We know that every community that is presently developed was once underdeveloped, and there were processes, there were things done that brought about development in those communities. So these leaders in various communities, talk about the community development board members, the community trust members, the women groups and their leaders, they get exposed to how these development problems are solved in other parts of the world. So we have some good sponsors like SPDC, JV, which builds the capacity, help in building the capacity, get them exposed to what's happening in other parts of the world. And so that's what we do. We get the CDB members, the city members, the women groups, and we build their capacity, get them involved in seminars, let them know what's happening in other parts of the world, and let them know how these development issues are handled in other parts of the world. Thank you.
All right, we thank you, Sophia, for also highlighting that bit. And we understand that, that is how this development is being done, this building of capacity is being carried out, this empowerment is being enhanced amongst the people who run these systems, who run these setups, who run these platforms that are being used to deliver the GMoU. So basically what my colleagues have just pointed out, helps to, so when people are brought on board on these platforms, in these boards, in these community trust organizations, when they are brought on board, then some of them might just be greenhorns. And so through these capacity building programs, they are quickly able to know what to do to be able to drive development in their communities. Because we say, or like on the last video, GMoU, which is the Global Memorandum of Understanding, is development for the people, by the people. They do it by themselves and for themselves, and they drive the process. Okay, so I'd like to bring my colleague Ernest once again back to talk about to us how this issue of capacity development is also driven even amongst the community in general through community engagements. How is that done, Ernest? Talk to us.
Okay. Like we have said previously, the capacity building process usually involves the board members, that is the cluster development board and the community trust. but these are just, let's say, handful of community members. As a matter of fact, the main people that drive the process are the ordinary community people, talking about the women group, the youths and the elders, and even the traditional rulers. So how do we get these people involved? Like we said earlier in the previous video, these people are the ones that choose the projects. So, but we always have a problem where people actually take up projects that are not actually needed. They are not actually needed. We have some problems of some communities trying to, with that syndrome of wanting to be like another community. Maybe if a community A does this, we want to do it, not minding the fact that that may not be what is needed at that particular point in time. So what do? We engage them. So when they bring up their project proposals, we say this is what we need. We try to look at it like, okay, is this actually a priority? Is this something that you actually need at this time? So we look at all of those projects and we advise on the best one to take, because of we have to consider limitation of funds. So you have to take the first most pressing down to the next one. So a situation whereby a community is saying, we need guest house, when there is no traffic of travelers around that place, we try to advise and try to enlighten them that may not be the best project at that particular point in time. So summarily, what we try to do to avoid the situation of, let's say, misplaced priorities, where you take up projects that are not actually needed. We try to enlighten community members, like as you can see on your screen there. That's one of the communities being enlightened, telling them that this is the nature of the project. If instead of doing this, why don't you take this one so that two of them can actually work well? So that is actually one other aspect of the capacity building for community members who are the actual drivers of the process. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, the community and driving development is always a very delicate issue that needs to be balanced properly. And I thank my colleagues for bringing all of those issues up. That helps to be able to drive this properly. People are empowered, they are engaged, and they are able to make informed decisions regarding projects in their communities, regarding what needs to be done, regarding how the funds made available to them needs to be channeled. These are all the elements, excuse me, of GMoU, and it is beautiful when it is actually pictured in action. So when they have chosen the projects, when it has gone through the process of bidding for the project and all of that, which is also open to contractors from the community where the project is going to be sited. The next, when a winner is eventually selected, maybe in a future video, probably we might also take you through those process of how it is done, from point A to point B to the last point, to be able to get those that will execute this project. And it's quite transparent, and it's being done by the communities themselves, and it's been under the supervision of ourselves in the communities where we work, and SPDC, who are the financiers of this process. So at the point when the contracts have been awarded, the next phase of engagement and capacity building is also for the contractors themselves. So I'd like to bring in my colleague, Sophia, to talk briefly about this engagement that helps the contractors to be able to deliver quality projects. Sophia.
Okay, there's usually this gap between the contractors, their engineers, the work they do, and the community. And so when we build the capacity of the contractors, and most times alongside their engineers, we close that gap. How do we do that? We organize kickoff meetings. In these kickoff meetings, the contractors and their engineers get familiarized with the work. We discuss possible challenges that come up with the work so that we don't get these jobs going and then abandoned along the line. We make sure that they are properly equipped to deliver. We also do safety check to make sure that there are no casualties during the execution of the projects. So these projects, to ensure that they are not stalled, there's got to be a scheduled time of execution. So we have a start time, and it starts with the kickoff. That's what we call the kickoff meeting. So we do all these to ensure delivery. Also, there are periodic evaluations done as the project is being executed. Probably we have some projects that were stalled based on one or two circumstances. These contractors are engaged. They are giving tips on how to go about resolving those issues so that development is not stalled at any point in time. So the contractors are developed, or their capacities are built before they start the project, during the project, so that they deliver optimally, and even afterwards, after delivering this project, they are equipped to deliver other projects that may come up in their communities or in any place around the world. Thank you.
All right, we thank you, Sophia, for bringing that up. And wherever you are, you just know that these are the areas how that had been deployed to ensure that development in the communities, development in areas where GMoU is being deployed is actually being maximally deployed. Yes, so the comes in various forms. The managers of the process in the form of members of the community trusts or members of the community development boards. We organize capacity building for them, like my colleagues have mentioned. The community themselves, they are also engaged and advice given in terms of their choice of projects. Yeah, looking at the realities on ground. Yeah, they are also, when they have chosen the projects and it has gone through the process of being bidded for, and a winner is selected, which is also being done by the communities themselves. Yeah, eventually the contractors who will do these jobs are also engaged. And all of this process, the whole idea is to ensure that the best is being given to development in the communities. We would really like to give you more insights into how this goes, more of the projects that have passed through this process that have been delivered. And so if you have any comments, if you have any questions, you can always drop it down in the comment section and we'll be able to address them. Are there other areas of developing the Niger Delta, especially as it involves communities who are utilizing the GMoU process to be able to make impact in their places? If you like, if there are specific things you would like to see, we'll be interested, to know them, and then we'll be able to address them. So drop a comment in the comment section and we'll be able to take it from there. Remember that you can always subscribe to our channels, like our pages, so that you'll be the first to know when new videos drop. So at this point, Ernest, do you have any parting words before we knock it off for today?
Okay. I think the summary of all we have discussed is the fact that we have a gap that needs to be filled in the Niger Delta, which has to do with the skill that the people have to actually develop themselves. So through the GMoU, it's a holistic process which does not leave any stone unturned to try and make sure that actually the people are not just given a mandate to carry out development by themselves, but they're actually equipped for that purpose. So, and we believe that if this is the general trend in the Niger Delta and even in Nigeria as a whole, I think rural development would have really moved on a faster pace. So as we go on, you see more of this, more of what we do, more of the problems that faces development and how we address them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Yeah, Sophia, we can take your parting words at this point. Oh, it looks like we've lost Sophia there. All right, so we thank you so much. My name is Charles Wahiwe, and today I've been here with my colleagues, Next Uke and Sophia Ojabu, and we've been talking about how those who manage the GMoU, their capacity is being built. And remember that GMoU is development of the people by the people. The process is managed by the community themselves. Yeah, the oil majors like SPDC who fund this process stay back from a supervisory level, just ensure that the community follow the process. So the community pick the project, the community decide the project of importance, and then based on sound advice, it is also being executed, and at every point along the line, capacity of those who manage this process is being enhanced. So it's been a nice time talking with you. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Remember to share this video so that more people can get to know what is happening in the Niger Delta. It's not all about gloom and doom. There are also positives going on in the Niger Delta. We will see you in the next video, and we really want to encourage you to stay with us. So from here, from Neokecci Multi-Concepts, it will be bye from us for now. So we see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.